again, friend of a friend. I knew you were. Our common goal was waiting for the world to end. Now that the truth is just a rule that you command, you crack the whip, shape shift and trick the past again.
Every time we lie awake, after every hit we take, every feeling that I get, but I have.
What's up everyone, this is Platinum Howler 14, shaking off the rust and bringing you guys another post-commentated Wi-Fi battle against Alec. This was Alec's first battle in the ION League, and I was definitely looking forward to getting the chance to be his first opponent. I am using the only singles team that has yet to appear in a post-commentated match, and that would be the very first team that I built for Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, my Mega Altaria team. For the most part, this team heavily relies on Mega Altaria's defensive typing. It has a whopping 7 resistances and 4 weaknesses, albeit to rather uncommon offensive types. So a Cotton Guard set, once 1 or 2 things go down, it's very hard to kill, barring any hacks or freezes with Ice Punch or stuff like that. However, I see 2 things on Alec's team that scare my team a lot, and those are Mega Charizard Y and Azumarill, especially Azumarill. Azumarill hits 4 of my 6 Pokemon for super effective damage, so I'll have to play around that for sure. So getting into the battle now, I wanted to lead off with my Mega Altaria so I could get off my Mega Evolution. That way I can switch into the likes of Hydreigon right away, as well as potential Mega Sceptile, because, I mean, he has a Sceptile, it could be Mega Sceptile, who knows. Really hoping he wouldn't lead off with the Azumarill, but it is a good lead for him because it's a good thing to counteract Landorus if I want to lead with my Stealth Rocker. So I'm going to Mega Evolve anyway, and I'm going to go for the Cotton Guard so I can reduce this Azumarill's damage output, but he actually goes for the knockoff, I guess predicting me to switch out. Because, you know, Altaria is generally not a good matchup against an Azumarill. But now I have my defense up. If he's Choice Banded, he has to switch out. He's not, he's Assault Vest, so I get free Hyper Voice damage off, find out that he is Assault Vest. So now I don't want to stay in because I know that he's going for Play Rough now. So I want to switch in my Scizor as a pivot here. Just to switch it in on the Play Rough and then U-turn out and get Toxicroak in semi-safely. But he actually pulls the switch out into the Charizard. A good switch. He can get it in before my Stealth Rocks are up, and get it in to do some work. But I U-turn out, and I'm going to go into my Chandelure, Choice Scarf Chandelure. Just going to fire off some Shadow Balls at this thing. I want this thing out of here. Very heavy hitter out of the way early in the match will only be helpful for me. So he's going to Mega Evolve, stay in with the Charizard. He probably thinks he's going to outspeed me, but he's not. So Shadow Ball's just going to bring him under 50%, as he's going to go for an Air Slash. Does a ton of damage, and I'm going to try and take him out with the second Shadow Ball, but I'm just going to fall short, and he's going to be able to take my Chandelure out with a second Air Slash. That attack drop from Azumarill's Play Rough on my Scizor, not too important. if it didn't happen, then I probably would have been able to do that 1 or 2 extra damage to be able to take that Charizard out and maybe save my Chandelure. But I'm really not. It's fine. I don't mind losing my Chandelure too much, but I think I clicked my my switch in here too quickly. I brought in Keldeo, which would have given him a free switch into a Azumarill, which I really didn't want because that thing does a lot of damage to my team. But he actually brings in the Sceptile, which is good because I can bring in my Scizor. And even though this is a specially defensive Scizor and he's a physical Sceptile, Sceptile's really not that strong. It can't kill me with an Earthquake, so I can get off a U-turn on it. And 0 attack investment whatsoever. Scizor just misses out on the kill against Sceptile. But here is why priority is so important, because I can bring in my Toxicroak and go for a Sucker Punch, and this Sceptile is not going to be alive anymore. But even if that Sucker Punch didn't knock out, I had a Focus Sash on my Toxicroak, so Toxicroak all around good switch in for me. Luckily the Sucker Punch was able to take him out. Gonna switch in his Landorus now. Best switch into Landorus is Landorus. So in comes my Landorus. Get the Intimidate off, and I just want to switch it in, get up my Stealth Rocks, and then switch it out. He goes for Earthquake, and then goes for the Stone Edge. I'm not a big fan of this play at all. There's really no reason to stay in against the defensive Landorus like that and click Stone Edge, especially when your Landorus is clearly defensive, judging by how much damage that did to me. So that was a wasted turn on Alec's part. Something I'll talk about later. Anyway, he's gonna go for his rocks afterwards, after I get my rocks up and you turn out into my Keldeo. And here's where things begin to go a little downhill for my friend Alec here. I can bring in my Keldeo, and I predict him to switch out into the Azumarill, and I can get up a Substitute. I know that Keldeo won't be able to do a ton of damage in one swing to this Azumarill, but I force him to go for Play Rough, and he has a 10% chance to miss, so if he misses, then I'll probably be able to take it out. But he goes for Knock Off. Obviously, I'm going to stay in with a Substitute up like that. He goes for Knock Off. I really don't know why. That's not going to be enough to break my Substitute. He could have gone for Waterfall and broken my Substitute. That would have had 100% chance of connecting. But instead, he fails to break my Substitute. And then he goes for Play Rough on the next turn to break it. And because he didn't break it on the first turn, Keldeo's going to be able to take out the Azumarill with a third Secret Sword. He went for last-ditch damage with the Aqua Jet there. A risky play if I decided to go for another Substitute, but I really had no reason to do that, so it wasn't that risky. I would have probably have done the same thing, so... in comes the Hydreigon. I'm expecting this to be Scarfed, but I'm leaving my Keldeo in anyway, because why not? He's not Scarfed, and Keldeo just kills it. So now in comes the Lucario. Not sure if this was Focus Sash or not, but because we have the rocks up, the sash is broken, and I guess his best move to hit me with is Bullet Punch rather than Extreme Speed. If you can possibly get an Extreme Speed Lucario, look into getting one of those. That would be awesome because Extreme Speed is a great move. But Secret Sword is going to be able to take the Lucario out, and now he's down to just the Landorus. Landorus is not... Defensive Landorus with leftovers, not going to be able to outspeed or do anything against my Keldeo. So Keldeo basically cleans up with Secret Sword and Surf right there. That's why you need answers to Keldeo when you're team building an OU. That thing is a serious threat. It does not have a lot of switch-ins, so it can really tear through teams that aren't prepared for it appropriately. But Azumarill is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best checks to Keldeo. which kind of leads me into a couple things that I want to discuss that maybe Alec can do better in future weeks. He's only 11 years old, so that was a pretty good showing for an 11-year-old in his first battle in the league. I have to admit, when I was 11 years old, I had very little comprehension of the competitive part of the game. I didn't even know what natures and IVs and EVs meant. Ways to get better. Obviously, Keldeo, well, like you saw at the end there, kind of sweeps through half of his team. So it's really important to identify Pokemon such as Keldeo that might be threats to your team and be able to conserve the checks to it better, like Azumarill. I do think you did conserve it well. Unfortunately, you just made that oversight play with the knockoff, it was okay. It just tips for the future, I guess. The other thing, when I brought in my Chandelure against the Mega Charizard to try to just barely miss out on the knockout with 2 Shadow Balls, I think it would have been a really good play once you saw that I was Choice Scarfed to pull the switch into Hydreigon to take the second Shadow Ball and try to save your Charizard Y, because it puts in quite a number against the majority of my team. Hydreigon would have taken that Shadow Ball really well, and it would have threatened out my Chandelure, and you would have been able to conserve your Charizard Y better. And also wasting that one turn by going for Stone Edge on Landorus. There's really no need. You're not going to do much damage. I'm not switching a Landorus in on a Landorus for any particular reason except to get up rocks and pivot out with U-turn. So by that wasted turn actually pretty much cost you the game, because I switched in Keldeo. I got in my Keldeo on the Landorus with the U-turn, and from that point I tore through the rest of your team. So every turn matters. You can't waste a turn like that, because I was able to take advantage of it and get a dangerous threat in and sweep through the rest of your team. So that was that battle, my first battle in basically a month. So I'm glad with how that went. Regular League play continues alongside the beginning of the Monotype tournament next week. I'm super excited about that. Not going to reveal what type I am using. If you want to know what type I am using, you're going to have to do your own research, because I'm in it to win it. I don't know, since it's running alongside regular League play, the Monotype matches, I can't promise how whether or not I'll be able to get all of those matches post-commentated. I can promise that at least one battle per week will be post-commentated, whether it be regular League play or Monotype tournament. Hopefully I can do them all, but there's going to be a lot of battles coming up, so no promises, but I'll try my best is the point. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you're looking forward to the Monotype tournament. I know I am. And we'll see you next week with another post-commentated Wi-Fi battle. Thanks, and bye.